Well, happy Saturday, folks. The real Captain Kirk here. We're live from One Bethlehem Plaza here in downtown Bethlehem here on a chilly morning, frosty, 34, 58 for a high. So again, near peak fall color here. Ton to cover here today. Again, we're going to talk about potentially Cat 5 Hurricane Melissa and the U.S. and World 2-week outlook here toward the end. But a new feature here, again, for our video blog. We're actually going to convert this into a free email subscription service, again, for clients and our 65,000 plus fans on social media. So again, you can get this now in your email inbox every Saturday here. First off, we talk Power of One in here, kind of Q3 trends here, wrapping up here. So how we quantify seasonal weather trends, predict those sales a year ahead by week, by store, by warehouse, everywhere on Earth. So we call it the Power of 1 degree, how 1 degree of change this time of year. For example, every degree colder this time of year, there's about a 5 to 7% increase in apparel sales, 10% increase in for heater sales. So let's quantify that here again. So this last week of Q3 here ends 1 November. Cold, again, eastern half of the country. So again, quantify that Power of 1, time the change in the temperature here. So heater sales up 64% year on year after a worse than 21 years last year. So a huge lift here for heaters, humidifiers up 35, fire lugs up 32% year on year, outerwear up 18%. Now the things that did well last year when it was really, really hot was maybe outdoor paint, ice cream, your holiday decorations, insect controls. So again, a flip-flop in what's good. Again, this is how we quantify seasonal sales by week, out a year, everywhere on Earth. We look at Q3 here, weather trends. It started off pretty good there. Labor Day was the coldest in 33 years. We had a strong uptick in store traffic and seasonal sales, and then it waned a bit as we got into mid-October with the warmer weather. Now, thankfully, again, much colder pattern here. So coldest in 5 years here to end Q3 and start Q4 in about 5 strong weeks here, year on year. So really warm last year to a much colder pattern this year. Q3 overall will end up being the coldest in 5 years, above average, but again, coldest in 5, driest in 40 plus. So again, a favorable quarter overall for retailers and seasonal sales. Recapping last week across the world, ending here today, the 25th of October, it was a cold week in the U.S., 4.1 colder than last year, coldest in 3 years, 19th coldest, so about middle of the pack, near average. Again, the cold trends would be more toward the eastern central U.S. and warmer out west. Big map here now, again, is the trends versus last year. Again, how our retail customers like to look at the weather. It was cold there in the UK and parts of Central Europe, and parts of China. Again, so a real cold spot maybe there in China, coldest in 23 years. Down in Brazil here, coldest in 14 years. So again, some colder trends on a world scale here. Good news. Severe weather season just about wrapping up here. So again, we're tornadoes are down year to date, down 12%, still well above average, but again, down 12%. Hail cases up 1% and wind cases up 2%. So won't be talking about severe weather here much longer as we'll be shifting to snow. Hurricanes still on the radar here to talk about here. We've only got 36 days left in the season here, but it's going out with a bang here with soon to be potentially Cat 5 Hurricane Melissa. It looks to explode south of Jamaica and slow mover. This is just potentially devastating for Jamaica, eastern Cuba, maybe extreme western Haiti. The slow movement is just a train wreck. Models are hinting at 20, 30, 40 inches of rain around that Kingston, Jamaica area with maybe 2 days of hurricane and potentially major hurricane force winds for Jamaica. So very concerned about that. We'll have to see if it's in the right front quadrant. Again, some models, Euro's leaning toward Kingston being in that right front as a Category 4. That will just decimate the city there in Jamaica. Left front, Montego Bay would actually fare better if you can stay on that left side of the hurricane versus the right side. So track will be critical here Monday, Tuesday time frame here for the folks down in the Caribbean. Scary how this is so similar. We're just near miss for us, the East Coast here with a Hurricane Sandy type scenario. Starting in the same spot, hitting the same areas. The good news is in 2012, actually, we had the trough was more in the Ohio Valley, so that allowed the system to kind of make a left turn into New Jersey, as you recall. This year, the trough is more on the East Coast, so this will hopefully steer Melissa and keep her out to sea here. So it's been definitely a East Coast Bermuda type track this year. Tracks left, again, up to 13 named storms. Versus last year, we had a lot more systems in the Gulf, obviously with the 4 major landfalling events that we had last year. So again, as expected, a shift to the East Coast, and this could actually be a theme again for next year, 2026 season. Start to track some of these cold days and snow day indexes. It's early again, but the U.S. 32 degree index of cold days is the second least in 40 years, so down about 5%. This will start to pick up here in late October, November. Snowfall, again, a lot in the Pacific Northwest, high mountains of the Rockies, but where people live, still, just a few of these snowfall index. We may be actually adding to that in the Northeast of all places here for some early snows. Looking at this week here, you can see the big change in the pattern here in the eastern half of the country and warming in the west, but overall a strong week here to end Q3. 5.6 colder than last year, colds in 5 years, 14th colds in 40 years, below average national temperatures, and again, real cold here in the eastern half of the country here. Snowfall index, again, there's quite a bit out in the Pacific Northwest, high elevations, but on a national index basis where people live, it's way down. Precip actually way up, 33% wetter than last year, wettest in 4 years, with above average rainfall. Again, very heavy there in the south central, southeast U.S., and again, that Pacific Northwest with rain and mountain snows. Look at the severe weather outlook. Again, not much here. Again, some this weekend here across the Gulf Coast, and then kind of winding down as we get into next week. And again, the snow is heavy, but it's in the high elevations where not a lot of folks live. Only about 3% of the U.S. population over the next 6 days will have some snow. But again, lingering wintry conditions in the Pacific Northwest. And again, that's going to shift to the Great Lakes Northeast here as we go into next week. Don't forget, actually, this coming Sunday here, November 2nd, fall back again. So enjoy the last little bit of later sunsets because we're going to be really early, I think, 4 something in the afternoon here. It's not looking forward to the early sunsets. Look at next week here, first week of Q4, week ending 8 November here. Good news again on the East Coast, the eastern half of the country, and pretty warm out west, so not so great out there. But again, another 4.5 cooler than last year, still 15th warmest. But again, East Coast is actually below normal and much colder than last year. So this is exceptional demand for seasonal sales and everything you want to buy here. Pantry loading, we will be doing that for sure. Snowfall index, again, is down a bit. Rainfall, again, drier. So cool, driest actually in the lead up to the holiday shopping season is the best ideal weather scenario. So cool, dry is what we want to see. And look at that snow. We'll see. This may be underdone actually for the Great Lakes, but interior New England, high elevations, Appalachians of West Virginia, and parts of the downwind of the Great Lakes here could have their first snow. So even the Poconos here in eastern PA could see their first inch or two of wet flakes in the very highest elevations here of the Poconos. So definitely have folks thinking fall and loading up the pantry and buying all that seasonal merchandise. So good news, higher sales at full margin is just what our retailers want to hear. Looking at the world now, this is aggregating, again, the warms and the colds for the whole 2-week period from 26 October through 8 November. So the theme is colder for the eastern half of the U.S. and hotter out west. So again, demand will be east and southeast Canada. Europe warming a bit. UK may still linger on to some favorable, especially up there in Scotland. Big map here, again, is trends versus average. Map inset left is the trends versus last year. And the rainfall, snowfall trends here, again, starting to see that snowfall pick up across northern Canada. Siberia, just this is a sign of the winter ahead here. Definitely this pattern is shifting to what looks like to be another, last year's coldest winter in 10 years. This one may be equally cold in the eastern 2/3 of the country. And the difference this year is the cycles suggest snowier. So a lot of good news here, at least for the core Q4 here for retail seasonal sales. Not so good Q1, Q2 next year, so we won't talk about that just yet. So that, folks, have a great week ahead. And again, this will be a new free email subscription service to our clients and 65,000 plus fans on social media. So again, hope you enjoy it. Again, video, blog, and now email distribution. So have a great week ahead, and we'll talk to you again this time next week.